Hello, everyone, and welcome
Or welcome back
to the Wizarding World Legacy Podcast.
where we discuss the magic of the Wizarding World's past, present, and future.
We're your hosts, Eric,
And Jasmine.
and today we're going to be giving you guys a news update, including a few different chunks of the Wizarding World franchise.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it.
So to get started, we'll talk about the major news that everyone's buzzing about. Hollywood Showdown.
Showdown.
So obviously a lot of people are talking about the potential acquisition of Warner Brothers and by extension HBO Max, and all their subsidiaries. Because Warner Brothers, I'm trying to remember the actual order this goes in. Warner Brothers is either owned by Universal or Universal owns Warner Brothers. It's all under the Comcast company and
it's Warner Brothers Discovery Plus is like the entirety of it all. And so Warner Brothers is those really notable IPs. They're like Harry Potter and Batman and Superman and all those big ones.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, Lord of the Rings film rights.
Films, yeah.
Not the IP to Lord of the Rings, because there is also a show on Amazon.
Well, yes, to the same end, Warner Brothers doesn't own the IP for Harry Potter, but they have the film rights and now currently the TV show rights.
So it's just not everything is
and game rights.
Not everything in the Lord of the Rings world is in the Warner Brothers basket. Regardless, there's sort of that side that is like very much the Warner Brothers. And then there's Discovery Plus, which is a lot of their like HGTV and the Food Network.
I didn't even think about HGTV. That's a good point.
Yeah, like it's like their lifestyle nonfiction side is the Discovery Plus.
Wait, what do you mean nonfiction? Harry Potter is it's a biographical.
Yeah, Harry Potter was just sorted into the wrong one.
Okay.
They messed it. That was very bad. Oof. Really bad on that part. Close. But we have the mostly all of the nonfiction side in that Discovery Plus bucket. And then there's the Warner Brothers bucket, which has a lot of the really epic IPs.
The sort of ball up in the air right now, so to speak, is that Netflix has put their hat in the ring as the primary contender to acquire Warner Brothers. People certainly have feelings one way or another about this acquisition. Generally speaking, these huge mergers usually do not spell anything good, in my opinion, for the long-term kind of success of existing and beloved franchises. We tend to see things take a hit or get cut or things like that. We'll get into more of that in a moment.
But
they're not the only game in town. I still don't think it's great if any other major company acquires Warner Brothers, but the other one is Paramount Pictures.
So Netflix has put in a bid for $83 billion, and to cover some of their debt. That deal was essentially signed. Netflix started emailing subscribers like they owned it.
We literally got emails.
And I was like, is this? I thought it was still in progress.
Yeah. And then I responded, I'm like, no, it is still in progress. Like, I just read this whole article that's like from Netflix and their legal team.
And then he got the email.
And then I got the email. I'm like, bro, they're actually sending the email to everybody.
Everybody. It's not just, I wasn't just special. So then.
When it wasn't a spam either.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
After that, Paramount posted a hostile bid. I really love the terminology. Hostile bid of $108 billion, again.
With a B.
$billion to purchase the entirety of Warner Brothers. I think one sort of distinguishing factor is that Netflix is particularly interested in that Warner Brothers section of the company, whereas
not as much the lifestyle section.
Whereas Paramount is very interested in both.
And I think Paramount could stand to gain from other aspects of the Warner Brothers company, which we'll get into momentarily. Obviously, most of the people in this realm are worried about what does that mean for existing projects already in development, like Harry Potter. I will say that if Netflix is specifically saying we will not only buy your company, but buy your debt, that's good, because part of that debt is like over $1 billion spent on the Harry Potter TV franchise. Great.
When we say we're spending $1 billion on the Harry Potter TV franchise, but then this company is being bought for either $83 or $108 billion, I don't feel so bad about that singular billion.
Yeah, I think the thing that irks me, and one of the things that just on sheer principle would make me feel a bit better about the big FU money offer that Paramount came in with, is if Paramount bought it and said, please, feel free to share your account logins with your grandmother. Because I do recall at one time, Netflix actually posting sharing is caring. And then going, if you're found sharing your account login information, we can deactivate your account for violating terms of service. And they also increased their prices, saying that we can't afford, we can't afford to keep it at the same price because y'all keep sharing your passwords. But if you can buy another organization for $83 billion, if you've got that in the liquidity to buy that company and their debt, I just don't feel like you're the ones who deserve it, you know? Like, you shouldn't thrive off the success of this other company when you're treating your customers this way.
Right. If you have even more than a singular billion in the bank, I think you're doing okay.
That does kind of make me say, oh, maybe Paramount should get it.
Just give it to them.
Just like, give it, say, you know what? It doesn't have to be 108. Just give us 85 billion and cover our debt. We're good. And take good care of our existing IPs and projects.
That is something that I hope was or is or could be written into it. I'm very optimistic that we will at least get a really solid first Harry Potter season of the new show.
First and second, because they are already starting to film aspects of the second. Like, it's already in development.
Right. Yeah. So first and second, I think we're in a pretty good position for. I think what's really going to matter is how those shows do.
Season 1 will have to kill. It'll have to really perform.
Yes.
Because season 1 would come out at the anticipated time frame of the acquisition, which is next year, 2026. Because I believe they actually said they're pushing season 1 up a year. I gotta double check that, but I'm pretty sure that there was recent news that they're probably gonna push it up. And by a year, it's like end of 2026.
Right, it's a few months. Basically, the deal with Netflix was signed. Paramount said, we about to be hostile and stuff. And now they're in sort of talks. Everyone is talking, including more regulatory consideration of, is this okay for either company to buy it? Because we can't have a monopoly within the space. So there is the actual who's going to buy it. There is the regulatory. Are we going to let them do this?
Yeah, like who legally can without violating any of the surrounding laws.
Exactly.
It seems as if Netflix has provided more clarity in terms of what their acquisition would mean, whereas Paramount's like, we clearly want this. Here's all this extra money, but as far as I've been able to find, there's not as much clarity on what their acquisition means in terms of. What are they hoping to do with the company? Does that $108 billion include their debt? In which case, it might be actually a lot closer than we think. What does that mean for the other branches of Warner Brothers? Because obviously, we're talking about the movie and TV branches, but there are other branches, which I think we can jump into now. So last time we talked about the possibility of Harry Potter coming into Fortnite. So Fortnite is a technically third-person shooter online player game that involves a bunch of different crossovers with different IPs. It's kind of a cartoony style, but it is done within the game engine called Unreal Engine, which is owned by Epic Games, which they use for filming and they use for video game production. It started as a video game engine first. What's nice is that, and part of the reason we surmised that this was a possibility was because Warner Brothers already actually has some licensing agreements with Epic Games. And we've seen that result in crossovers with things like DC Comics. So we've seen some of the DC superheroes and villains come to the game. But there have been a couple other DC crossovers. There was rumors about some Nickelodeon crossovers because that's under the Warner Brothers moniker.
Hypothetically, SpongeBob.
Yeah, we did see Scooby-Doo, which is kind of under that whole franchise. We have also seen Netflix crossovers too. Stranger Things has come to Epic Games. We said it makes sense. They've already got broomsticks in the games. They've already done things like anime that involves like spell kind of effects and those. It just makes sense.
Just makes sense. It always has. It always will.
Hogwarts Legacy was also already made in Unreal Engine, so there's even a sort of a basis for things like character constructions and designs, and wands.
Based on how well the game did.
Kind of makes sense.
They know there's an interest.
Yeah. So the nice thing about that is that we were right.
That feels good.
It feels good. It feels especially good now because we can talk about it, but it's going to kind of feel as good when it comes out because we might be absent for a little bit again, like we said. In all seriousness, Epic Games themselves actually put up a post about this. It is truly coming to the game.
This is Epic Games art.
This is their art that we're sharing. And this is related to another post that they did where they had said, if you go on to Hogwarts Legacy and play for at least 2 hours before December 18th, you will earn this item as a back bling. So one of the things you can do is kind of deck out your character with different items and backbling or a backpack or whatever.
Wait, do you have to play Fortnite or?
No, you have to play
Hogwarts
Hogwarts Legacy.
I have to go play Hogwarts
So
Legacy.
like a true union of the two, Avalanche Games, Warner Brother Games, and Epic. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Actually. I don't know if I want a chocolate frog as my backbling, but
I want the option.
I want the option. I want the item.
I want it in my locker.
If this is really how it looks, I mean, pretty well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks just like I would think it would look from the movies. So, and then this is like an example of what the characters could look like. You get your scarves and your sweaters and all that stuff, the robes. There was also talk about other things, and one of the things that made this a strong rumor was, I'll try to throw up a picture here, the placeholder in the file structure
of
the Harry Potter edition was a hand-drawn sketch of Harry Potter on the firebolt.
By a true artist.
It looks like a kindergartner.
Okay. An artist.
Yeah. Super funny. A super troll move because I know people try to get into the files that have the PC version of the game to see what expansions might be coming. And it was already in the Chapter 7 files because Chapter 7 just started. So it's going to be part of the Winterfest bundle, yeah.
Winterfest.
Like we said last time, I think the options for this are just like endless. The Ford Anglia is coming.
That's been confirmed.
I don't know that it's going to be flyable or not. I hope it really is flyable. The animations that they showed made it seem like it might be. I'm certain that we're going to see Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Probably Voldemort. In terms of like the will they integrate wands? I think that would be a great idea for the pickaxe that you use. I think they have to integrate magical creatures as sidekicks. Like they got to do that in some way. And they should have them in the game.
I'm gonna buy every single one.
There are some rumors that there will be POIs or like locations on the map that are Hogwarts related, which is interesting because we have a new map for Chapter 7, but even if it's for a limited time, they could just push out a new map that you're playing on or make it one of the secondary gameplay modes and easily do that.
I'm gonna be devastated if you guys don't go all out.
Yeah, I really hope Epic Games does.
So let's do it right.
Yes. And we will try to get some gameplay captures just so we could share that with you guys here because it's interesting and it's Harry Potter. We mentioned Hogwarts Legacy. There's some rumors that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development and is scheduled or slated for an anticipated release date of 2026. I'll believe it when I see it. Hypothetically. We've got a lot more now that makes it more hypothetical than definite.
Right. So there were people who were like, yes, it's happening. It was in development.
It's happening.
And then this whole
Hollywood Showdown.
That whole thing started. And now we don't know. I've heard some things about Netflix wanting to acquire, all of the Warner Brothers stuff.
Company. Yeah.
Netflix has sort of taken their first little dip into the gaming sphere. They have some mobile games that go along with some of their TV shows. So there's like a Stranger Things game. So Netflix has sort of started to go in that direction. So it seems as though if Netflix were to be the one to acquire the company, they would still proceed forward.
However, there were conversations with some of the Netflix executives about what branches of the Warner Brother company really speak to them in terms of their financial value. It seemed like they didn't find there to be much value to the Warner Brothers gaming arm. And that includes, obviously, Hogwarts Legacy, but it includes other things too. You've got Quidditch Champions, which didn't do well at all. You've got all of the DC games, one of which in particular was like a huge money loss. So that didn't do well. Nickelodeon's got some games, and that would fall under that umbrella. And there's one more, Mortal Kombat. And Mortal Kombat has actually always been pretty successful. I will say the new games are kind of silly and not as fun as the original games used to be. And they don't have the nostalgia factor.
I kicked Eric's butt in Mortal Kombat one time.
Did you?
Just one time.
I don't know that that's true.
It is. We can ask literally everyone.
I think she might have button mashed and yeah. We'll have a rematch. But with them saying essentially that they don't really find any value or profitability from the mobile gaming or just gaming branch of the company, that kind of doesn't sound promising when you're talking about things like Hogwarts Legacy 2. And there's another aspect that makes it feel less promising.
Say it.
Okay. Hogwarts Legacy 1 was the most successful game that Warner Brothers, honestly, if you look at all four of those, the Nickelodeon, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Warner Brothers, that was the most successful game.
It's one of the highest grossing games ever.
In all time. And won Game of the Year award in 2023. I think it won it again in 2024. Very, very good game. High grossing game, even despite boycott efforts and everything like that. There was a funny post actually about the whole boycott efforts because with this whole acquisition happening, people are like, oh, it's really not going to be a success because people are going to boycott this one too, just like the first one, and it's not going to do well. And then there were community notes which said, actually, the first boycott was a glaring failure, and the game is still one of the top performing games of all time with X amount of billion copies sold and blah, 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 blah. So the community notes basically said, yeah, the boycott wasn't a real boycott because it wasn't successful.
Because no one boycotted.
Right. Like people who were going to play, played.
Right.
They didn't care. I don't think a boycott is going to be the issue here. What I do think will be the issue is the gameplay model that they're rumored to be considering. And if this game is supposed to launch next year, it's not considering at this point. Like you can't be a year out
Right.
and change your gameplay model because what they're rumoring is that this is going to be mostly an online game. There's even some suggestion that it could be multiplayer free to play MMO, so massive multiplayer online. And that would coincide with the fact that they're partnering with Epic Games. It would coincide with some of the other types of games that are most commonly played. And it would coincide with the gaming model that most companies are trying to shoot for, which is like, we want you in game as much as possible. We don't just want you to play the storyline, save your progress, log off for a while, and come back to it later. We want you to constantly feel like you should be engaged with our game because that's how we keep
making money.
Specifically through microtransactions.
In-game purchases.
One of the things that people really liked about the first game was that, one, out of the gate, it was promised that there wouldn't be microtransactions. Mm-hmm. And two, that they essentially stuck to that. I mean, they had things like you could buy the deluxe edition, the super ultra mega deluxe edition, the collector's edition.
The book.
The book with the wand and stuff, which is, I kind of wish I got it. It looked kind of cool, but I wasn't going to pay for that. And those unlocked extra things. And those extra things could, like a couple years later, I think you could go into their shop and buy those things but it wasn't like go into the shop and buy all these things to make gameplay. But it was just, here's a couple cute, aesthetic kind of things for the game.
Yeah.
That was great. The model that they used the first time around was clearly very successful, which begs the question, why would you change it? And it really begs the question if you think about it deeper, because the DC game that I'm referencing, and I can't remember the name, it was like DC Heroes something, or like, it's like Kill the DC Heroes or something. I don't know. It was actually from the villain's perspective, but it was a MMO style game, multiplayer online. There were some microtransactions and stuff. And it was a total failure. It lost. It didn't just maybe break even or just barely make. It lost a considerable amount of money for Warner Brothers. So to follow that model seems downright idiotic and seems like a recipe for failure and seems like a rationale behind just canceling that stuff altogether, which I don't want to see because Hogwarts Legacy 1 was great.
Right.
And the development conversation around Hogwarts 2 included saying there could be some Hogwarts Legacy 2 could be some tie-in with the show.
Yep.
There could be some tie-in directly to the books because the first one was stated to be canon accurate. It didn't do anything that conflicted with canon, but didn't tie into the book series because it was so far removed from that timeline. This one's going to move us up in the timeline some, how much I don't know, but it's supposed to have more relevance to the actual storyline and canon and things like that. And
so if we're moving closer to the storyline, for the love of everything, we easily could make another. Why?
I'm not against a multiplayer format game.
No. Same format. I want exactly the same thing.
Hear out what I mean. It's the same gameplay format, but you can play your missions co-op. You and your bud can go through the Forbidden Forest or go through these different quest lines and stuff like that, and you can fight off the bad guys together. Yeah, you can complete the quest together.
That's fine, but you'd have to be in the same place in the story.
Correct.
So as long as you're in the same place in the story, yeah, that's fine.
You could even do it like Grand Theft Auto did, where you can play through the solo campaign, and then there's an online campaign too, where it's like you're playing through the game. It's a massive multiplayer, it's a open world concept game already. Right. So you could be doing stuff throughout the map independently, like these little side quests, but main quests you can engage in together. And when you go to start the quest, if you're playing with your friend, it could say, this quest is about to start. Do you want to join this quest?
Yeah.
And then you play it together. That I would be fine with. But don't change the entire format of the game to be just this massive multiplayer online where you're playing with and against each other and it feels nothing like the original because that's what people liked.
Right. I was so excited to see, where the story was going to go, how we were going to inch closer to the actual start of the books with characters that we knew better. Like,
Yeah.
I love that game. I basically didn't do anything for like 2 weeks.
Until that campaign was pretty much complete.
Yeah, until I finished it. 100%ed the whole thing.
100% of 100%.
Right. I just feel like there are so many of these games where they want you to engage consistently. It's okay for one game to be one that you buy outright and then you just play it through.
Yeah, it's okay for people to touch grass every now and then.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
And you can have downloadable content if you want to bring people back in after your initial sales drop.
Right, which they were supposed to do with the original game. There was supposed to be DLC so that you're like, oh, okay, you've completed the whole game. This isn't going to extend the storyline necessarily. It's just going to add to it, sort of like laterally.
Side quests.
Yeah, like side quests. So, and they kind of did that when the game launched. There was like a PlayStation only side quest if you got the deluxe edition where you got to open up that magic shop, and then down the road that got opened up to like Xbox and stuff like that.
Right.
And that was cool. That like great little addition. It didn't do anything to alter the canon of the story or change the overarching storyline. It just added to sort of the replayability.
Right.
And I get what they're saying in terms of saying the replayability of the game was lacking. It was, for sure. You could play through every house you wanted. It felt almost the same, except you would get one primary mission that was house specific. So for example, and sorry if any of you haven't played this.
Spoiler alert.
If you were in Hufflepuff, oddly, you got to go to Azkaban. I don't understand why that was the house that went to Azkaban.
I got to go to Azkaban.
It doesn't feel like the vibe Hufflepuff puts out there.
It was about being a good person. We went to go help somebody.
I know. It was weird that was Hufflepuff. I feel like that's like a Gryffindor kind of thing, and I'm not a Gryffindor person. But it's like, you've got to be brave enough to go to a place where there's...
Hufflepuffs can be brave.
It's not that they can't be brave, but it's about, sometimes stupid bravery. Going to a place where, like, you really shouldn't go. There's Dementors, stuff like that. But anyway, I like the original format.
Me too.
I'd like them to keep with it. If you want to make it multiplayer, dude, I'm all for it. But do it in a way that doesn't make it feel distinctly not similar to the original game. The bigger overarching concern, even beyond them making this silly and just, quite frankly, nonsensical change, will it get scrapped altogether? And will the entire gaming branch get scrapped and then just sort of brought back in a different form that we don't even recognize as...
I'm going to ask you to stop speaking now. I don't really like these ideas you're putting out into the universe.
Speaking of games, there are more.
There's more. And this is a game that Eric and I don't play.
No, I don't play Monopoly Go. I don't play Monopoly Stay. Because it's a contentious game and...
Eric's not a good sport.
I'm not. And if I flip the board on my phone, I break my phone. And so it's bad enough when I flip the board on the kids and say, where'd you get the pink 50s?
They love it.
Yeah, they do love it. I don't really flip the board, but
No, he absolutely has.
I don't flip the board. I have flipped pieces. F this game.
You've definitely flipped the board, but okay.
Yeah, I don't need that stress.
Yeah, no. And it just goes on forever. When I was younger, absolutely Monopoly. And like, if the kiddos are really
insistent,
then yeah, I'll give it like a once a year thing, an annual Monopoly. I will say my brother did get into Monopoly Go pretty heavily, and it was addictive. Is
it like, in terms of gameplay, is it like very different than how you play the actual board? I've not played Monopoly Go.
I think it is different. Almost feels like the mission is the same of you need to acquire stuff and everything, but like how you actually make progress is different. And Monopoly Go is definitely one of those games that can be an absolute money suck.
Oh, because there's real purchases?
Yep.
Yeah, nah. You gotta like pay to play, basically?
You don't have to pay to play, but you can like pay to, I think it's like, get different pieces, you can upgrade things, like...
Nah.
You can spend some serious money in Monopoly Go.
So I won't be downloading that.
Nope.
I will say the video for it looks pretty cute.
Absolutely, it's adorable.
Yeah, so
Wait,
this...
also, Harry Potter's coming to it. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah, so it's Harry Potter Monopoly Go.
Right. Monopoly Go we don't normally care about. Only reason we care right now is because they're bringing a pretty cute Harry Potter and Hedwig. And I think Hedwig is...
And like you can buy the Black Lake.
Oh, I didn't even note that.
You're putting houses on the Black Lake?
Squid's gonna be...
He's gonna just destroy them.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Maybe they're mermaid houses.
Underwater houses.
For the mer people. That'd be kind of cool.
I would not build houses for them. They are not nice.
I don't seem it. Did I sit Dumbledore?
Roll the clip.
Enjoy the clip. Yeah,
It's already begun.
So it's already begun as of 2 days ago.
Oh, look at Hedwig.
Yes, Hedwig's pretty cute. If I downloaded it, it would just be to see what does the game even look like. Because based on the trailer, it looks like you can play Quidditch and all this other stuff, but I don't think that's the case. I think those are just cinematics within the game.
We don't know, but Hedwig's pretty cute. And I'd like to see all the other squares or all the other like properties, so I might download it.
I'm not going to play it though. Like I would download it to look at it. I'm not playing it. I'll get too sucked in.
Me too.
Speaking of ways of amusing yourself.
Amusement parks.
Yeah.
We're just going to touch on this topic real quick. I have not yet been to Epic Universe, so I refuse to acknowledge
spoilers.
or hear about spoilers at all in any way, shape, and or form. However, Epic is planning an expansion, and Eric is here to provide a little bit more details on that.
Because it is Harry Potter related. Now, you know what the Wizarding World at Epic is based around, correct?
The Ministry of Magic and Beauxbaton Inspo.
Yeah, this isn't going to spoil anything for you. The world is based around, like the section of the park is based around Wizarding World France from the Fantastic Beasts series. Like that timeline. I'm not going to say more than that because I think every single one of you should go and see it yourself. It's freaking epic and amazing and awesome.
That's enough.
And all the superlatives you can get. They did have the intention of, when the park opening with 2 major attractions, ride-based attractions, because there technically are 2 attractions there. One of them is a ride experience, one of them is a show-based experience. And Universal has show-based experience in other parks as well, even within Epic, but outside of Epic, that is something they've done before, but they never opened with the second ride experience. And so a section of this world was left intentionally completely undeveloped. And there is a pretty obvious place where you would get into it from within this world. Because of the size of it, the permitted construction space, which matches up with the lot in this world that has not yet been developed perfectly, is 150,000 square feet, which is like 3 acres. It's pretty big.
And there are, for context though, there is roller coasters that exist that are easily 100 acres.
Not 100 acres, no.
Yeah.
No. 100 acres is, like all of Epic Universe is 108 acres.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Universal Islands of Adventures, I think, is 112. And then the other one's around 108 as well. I mean, around 100,000 square feet, yes.
That's it.
Yeah. It does match up size-wise pretty much perfectly to the space that was left undeveloped. And a lot of people were speculating this is where it was going to be because some of the other worlds have room for expansion as well, some of which are either the same size or double the size. Nintendo World has like one that is like 6 acres, it's double the size. But then they actually confirmed it. So Epic Universe confirmed that they are expanding the Wizarding World to include another section within it that is going to include another ride attraction. There's a lot of speculation as to what the ride could be. Originally, they had intended to do a broom style experience where you're riding on a broom, either playing Quidditch or some other thing where you're literally on a broom. And there was going to probably be some VR element to it as well. A lot of theme parks, like across the world, are really trying to stay as much away from that as possible, particularly with roller coaster type experiences, because it gets time consuming and expensive to shut down rides for people puking everywhere. It's not really great, and it doesn't make for an enjoyable ride experience.
No.
One of the things Epic already struggles with is being able to function at max capacity because of the number of rides available, and that would be hugely exacerbated by a couple of factors. One, if they opened up annual tickets to Epic, right now you have to buy a day or 2-day pass. There's no annual pass holders like there are for the other parks. So if the volume went up because of that, that would make it like torturous in terms of the wait times.
Right.
Even now, 6 months later, they're functioning at a slightly reduced capacity. The other thing that would really put a strain on it is weather. All of the outdoor rides are subject to closure during certain types of inclement weather. So, for example, if there's lightning within 5 miles, it's like 5 or 10 miles of Orlando at large, they have to close those rides temporarily until those clear. If there is like severe rain and that kind of stuff, certain rides have to be closed temporarily. And we actually went on Velocicoaster, which is in their Islands of Adventure. It's what this place's main ride is based off the same technology, which is this sort of electromagnetic propulsion technology. You can accelerate crazy fast. We went on it accidentally in the rain. So it was nice weather out. My mother wanted to go on the front row. I was like, all right, I haven't ridden with you in the front row yet. So we get in the front row. Not only was I drenched at the end of the ride, it was physically painful because it felt like shards of ice stabbing you in the face and the eyeballs. So I had to have my eyes closed for most of the ride. Wasn't great.
Funny.
Yeah, to other people. Those kind of things make it a less enjoyable experience as well. And again, they may have to shut down the ride. So the biggest speculation here is that it's probably going to be another what they call a dark ride, which is a ride that's indoors. That doesn't mean that it wouldn't be a traditional roller coaster, because there are dark rides like the Mummy and other ones that are indoors and are traditional roller coasters. But a lot of people are speculating that they're probably still going to try to do some sort of like flying experience to tie that into the Wizarding World. Whether that's like you're flying in a thestral carriage or on a thestral, that would be great to model after the like flight of the Navi or whatever, when you fly on what are those things, the Banshees. They could model it sort of after that, where it feels like you're physically sitting on the Thestral, and they can even make it feel like it's breathing and flapping its wings like they do on the Banshee one, but you're actually in a simulation. And it's physically moving and stuff, but most of it's a simulation. Far fewer people get sick on that ride than they do on most other screen-based experiences. Personally, I'd rather be on a ride where like it's interacting with sets or where it's like a real roller coaster rather than mostly screens. But we'll see. If it's an indoor ride, you're limited on space and stuff like that. It's confirmed. They're going to be adding another ride. If you've already gone to Epic Universe, this gives you a reason to go back. And you can hit the rest of the Harry Potter world up while you're there. And if you've not been, definitely check it out because it's really an awesome experience. Moving on to what you're mostly here to see, the Harry Potter series on HBO Max.
Absolutely.
Get some announcements.
So the HBO head of originals, Sarah Aubrey, attended a day of filming. I don't know. Visited the set.
Yeah, she was on set.
Had to see what was going on, and she really enjoyed her experience. But I think what most people are taking away is the fact that she has said, and I quote, "And I think when people watch it, they will think these are the books." And for those of us who are particularly hoping for a very canon adaptation of the books, I'm pleased.
I'm pretty stoked with that too. That's a bold claim, particularly given a couple other leaks that have been out there. There was actually a huge Reddit post from people who were extras. And the initial post, those extras had signed NDAs, really wanted to keep themselves out of trouble to be able to stay involved in the project. So they didn't really release any juicy details or anything. But they did say that they were shooting this scene that was involving like 30 some odd extras. And there was, I wish I could remember the descriptors off the top of my head, but it was a scene that was not in the books, could still be canon accurate, kind of added to the storyline to get to like sort of better understand some of the characters and some of the events that happen,
Okay.
but not in the books.
Okay.
So if you're adding content,
We're not
I don't want to see you, I don't want to see you cut anything, right? Like you've
Fair.
lost your excuse to cut anything if you add content.
I think that's fair.
Bold claim. Let's hope it holds up.
In other news, we have had actors cast in unknown roles. Why they announce actors who have been cast in unknown roles, I don't know at all. But Joel Montague has been cast playing somebody. Historically, he has played King George III in Hamilton. I'm a particularly big fan, so I love to see that. It's a very theatrical role, and so I'm excited to see what he could bring to the show.
Based on what I suspect is his age, because I don't remember his age off the top of my head, he could definitely play somebody who's like the kid's parents' age.
True.
He could be one of the professors. He could be a muggle or just an extra, right? Like he could be anybody because they legitimately haven't.
I don't know. I feel like he's got too much acting experience to be cast as an extra. And if we're we can't possibly do these type of announcements for all of the extras.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time in the day.
He could be one of the ministry officials that we see somebody interact with.
He might just be an adult in the series.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for like one of the teachers or somebody that, I don't know, like to your point, it seems weird to just like announce it if it's not an important role. So if we get more developments on that, we'll definitely update you guys. But go Montague.
Kim Durham has also been cast as someone unknown.
I like this one where he's holding the pipe and it almost looks like he's holding a wand.
Uh-huh.
But he's giving me very Filchy vibes. If you look at the photo quickly on the left, real quick look, looks like he has long hair kind of coming down the back, but it's really just like his collar and stuff
Do
like
we
that.
have a Professor Binns yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we already talked about him. He gives me Filch vibes.
But
More
we
so
already
than the
have a
guy who
Filch.
is Filch. I know.
Fair, but we already have a Filch. He reminds me of Tywin Lannister. Not at all related, but
A tiny bit. I can see why you would say that.
that was my first like, oh, it's Tywin.
It's the blend of the two photos that makes me think Filch.
That's totally fair. I don't know what we're gonna see him as. We're gonna see him as something.
Moving on to some more Potter things.
In not news at all, just fun speculations, theories, and images,
Yes.
there have been quite a few similarities betwixt Harry Potter and Stranger Things, or at least this last season of Stranger Things, that released the first 4 episodes the day before Thanksgiving and will be releasing another 4 or 3 episodes either on or just before or just after Christmas. They're doing the big holidays.
I think it's just before.
Just before. So it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are like the Stranger Things end dates. And I've never seen a release like that. Kind of excited. Not relevant to this podcast because we focus on Harry Potter. But
Yes. There's some very interesting screen grabs that people have been posting since seeing this. Now, I have not watched these 4. I was kind of going to wait for all of them to come out and binge watch them.
no, you're never going to get through all of them.
This season? All of this season?
Yeah, it's like, that's like more than 8 hours of TV.
I'm not going to watch them in one day, but
You
you watch
said
them
binge watch them.
Yeah, so like watch them. Like those are the shows that I watch for that couple of weeks. I'm not watching anything else.
Got it.
Yeah, that's my version of binge watching.
Older version of binge watching.
Yes. I have some responsibilities and kids. The comparisons that were made were like basically screen grabs of either major plot points or major characters.
And we'll go over those.
We are from each franchise and how they look so similar.
What's interesting
Is that Netflix is thinking of acquiring, obviously, the Harry Potter series. And it's kind of like a, hey, we can do Harry Potter too.
For example,
Vecna is played by the gentleman on the right, who also is young Gellert Grindelwald.
oh,
Yeah, so in the movies, he plays young Gellert Grindelwald.
okay, so we already have a crossover.
You do. And then if you look on the left, you've got young
Tom Riddle.
Tom Riddle. That's like, I think that's like when he's like supposed to be 16 or
16.
something.
Yeah.
You know, the posturing, the facial structuring,
The hair.
the hair, very similar.
I'm seeing some similarities.
Young Tom Marvolo Riddle, also similar in terms of like hairstyle. You know, they're like how they dress themselves, the way they're looking up at the camera. Obviously, the one on the left has a longer hair and he's wearing a blazer and stuff because he's at school, but similar look, similar vibes.
I'm getting a similar vibe, and then ultimately leading to
Yeah, the noseless,
just the missing noses.
yeah, the noseless sunken eye villain.
Noseless, sunken eye, bald villain.
Interestingly, played by the person who played young Voldemort, or sorry, young Grindelwald, and is similar to young Voldemort's appearance, actually is the guy playing Vecna. He's just in a whole body makeup.
Thoroughly.
Yeah.
Thoroughly covered.
And this young Voldemort is actually older Voldemort's nephew.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's his nephew playing him. Huh. So, interesting little homage there. And then, of course, you've got this final comparison here. This is the screen grab where you've got Vecna grabbing, I think this is Will's face.
Yeah.
And obviously Voldemort grabbing Harry's face and threatening them, right? Like it's a menacing pose. It's pretty much the exact same frame.
Right.
Even down to the fact that you've got a window to elsewhere in the background.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing some scary similarities right here.
Like a lot of intentionality behind framing this the same way.
Also, not to be dramatic, but the force with which Voldemort's gripping Harry's face gets me every time.
Well, with the like dirty nails digging into his skin.
Ugh,
and the pinky, like the pinky behind the ear, that's
that
a painful spot.
hurts.
Yeah, that's a pressure point.
And like it's clear that he's actually grabbing Daniel Radcliffe. Like that's not
Ralph Fiennes doesn't do anything half measure.
No, he does not. Props on Daniel for getting through that.
Yeah. Honestly, he got through a lot of stuff on set. He
really did.
So that was just a fun sort of comparison and some visual interest between the two series. And I do wonder if that was like intentional and this plot, there is a plot. If this plot has been going on for a long time for them to make a bid for Warner Brothers, because it's the Warner Brothers looking to sell off the company actually has been rumored for quite a while now. I think like just before the summer, they started saying stuff about, hey, Warner Brothers is probably going to be bought by somebody else.
Right. You
certainly could sneak that into the screenplay here.
Yeah. You could just like, hey, guys who are writing and drafting and doing all of the fun things for Stranger Things, feel free to use Harry Potter as low-key, but kind of clear inspo.
Yeah, as a point of reference here. And literally, it could have been like, so we're going to shoot Vecna grabbing Will from like a dirty over-the-shoulder shot. Why don't we just do a wide shot?
What about
side angle?
What if we just
like this? Like here's my mood board. Here. Let's do it like this.
Hold on, this is my mood board.
Yeah, here's my mood board.
It's
just do that and change the colors from grays and blues to red. Just make it all red.
Or just yeah, which is the Stranger Things color.
Yeah.
So that's really all we have for you today.
Yes. We hope you guys enjoyed these news updates. I know some of these were more like just our thoughts and speculations about the whole merger and games and stuff like that.
Just know that we're going to be here for you through this very trying time.
Yes.
The turbulent Hollywood showdown.
Hollywood showdown.
We're going to get through it.
Yeah. And please leave us your thoughts on it. Are you one of the people who's like, I don't like it when other film companies buy other film companies or other big conglomerates buy other big conglomerates because I think it makes the quality worse? Or are you somebody who goes, hey, this pumps more money, more liquidity into the franchise, and if they have more money at their disposal, maybe they'll do a better job? So are you optimistic? Are you a little bit pessimistic like I am? Or are you somebody who's like, listen, I ain't gonna make any judgments until we see what happens?
Yeah, I'm personally.
Which is reasonable.
Yeah, I'm skeptical, but I'm like, we'll see.
I'm a little bit pessimistic.
I see that.
But I am holding out a glint of hope.
We need a hero. Anyway.
We need a hero.
That's exactly what just happened in my head. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to comment your thoughts below. And until next time.
Keep your wands at the ready.
And stay magical.
Finite.
I need a hero.